Most people wouldn't last 48 hours alone in the wild. But these 10 people survived far, far longer. Their stories are so extreme, they're almost impossible to believe. Every year, thousands of people disappear into mountains, deserts, and deep forests. Most are found within days. But a few make it out against all odds, surviving long enough to tell a story that defies reality. These aren't stories about surviving for a few days. We're talking weeks, months, and in one case, nearly 3 decades of complete isolation. Here are the top 10 times humans survived alone in the wild longer than anyone thought possible, and the unbelievable things they did to stay alive. Starting at number 10, the hiker who lived 49 days on snow melt. Imagine this. You're hiking. You fall down a steep ravine, and you shatter your leg. You're trapped with no food, no way to signal for help. For 49 agonizing days, one woman survived on nothing but melted snow and a few tiny pine needles she could reach. It's a testament to pure endurance. When rescuers finally found her, they were stunned. They said she should have died within the first week from exposure alone. Her will to live simply refused to let that happen. At number 9, the teen lost in the Amazon for 9 weeks. A young adventurer wanders just a little too far off the trail, and suddenly, the world's largest jungle swallows him whole. For 9 weeks, he had no fire, no shoes, and no real supplies. He survived on rainwater and whatever wild fruit he could identify. To escape the jungle's most dangerous predators, like jaguars and snakes, he learned to sleep high up in the trees. When he was finally found, he was so emaciated that he weighed less than a child. His survival was a miracle of instinct and adaptation. Number 8 takes us to the frozen north, the skier who survived 30 days in the Canadian wilderness. A beautiful solo ski trip turned into a fight for life when he suddenly fell through thin ice into freezing water. Soaked and freezing, he managed to drag himself out. With temperatures plummeting, he built a snow shelter to escape the wind and lived off frozen fish he somehow managed to catch with his bare hands. For 30 days, he battled frostbite and starvation in one of the world's most unforgiving environments. Coming in at number 7, the diver stranded on a remote island for 71 days. After a dive went terribly wrong, he washed up on a tiny, deserted island with nothing but his wetsuit. For 71 days, his diet consisted of seaweed, snails, and rainwater he collected in shells. The nights were the worst. He could hear sharks circling the island, their fins cutting through the water just feet from where he slept. The most insane part, the island he was on wasn't even on most maps. He was stranded in a place that, for all intents and purposes, didn't exist. Number 6 is the pilot who survived 54 days after a crash. His small plane went down in a remote wilderness, and he suffered multiple broken ribs in the impact. Despite the immense pain, he knew staying at the crash site was a death sentence. He dragged himself for miles, searching for help. For 54 days, he kept himself alive on a diet of wild berries and insects. His determination to move, even when every breath was agony, is the only reason he was eventually found. At number 5, we have a story of family resilience, the family lost in Siberia for 18 months. This wasn't just one person, but an entire family, pushed to the absolute edge. They found themselves stranded in the vast Siberian taiga as winter approached. With temperatures dropping to a bone-chilling -40 degrees Celsius, they built shelters from fallen trees, learned to hunt rabbits with primitive traps, and spent hours every single day melting snow just to have enough water to drink. For a year and a half, they endured conditions that would break almost anyone. Number 4 is the woman who survived 3 months in the Australian outback. The outback is one of the driest, hottest places on Earth. Water is everything. After getting lost, she survived for 3 months with almost none. So what was her trick? She became nocturnal. She learned to walk only at night to conserve energy and avoid the brutal sun. During the day, she used termite mounds for shade. For food, she caught and ate tiny lizards to get the protein she needed to keep going. Our number 3 spot goes to the man who lived 18 months alone in the Rockies. This guy didn't just survive, he transformed into a literal mountain man. Lost and alone, he built his own log cabin from scratch. He fashioned a bow and carved his own arrows to hunt for food. He documented his entire experience in a notebook detailing his struggles, his triumphs, and his slow adaptation to a life of total solitude. That notebook, found years later, tells a story of human ingenuity that's almost hard to comprehend. At number 2, we have a story that doctors called biologically impossible: the sailor who survived for 138 days at sea. For more than a year, he drifted aimlessly across the vast Pacific Ocean in a small, damaged fishing boat. He had no modern equipment, no way to navigate. He survived by catching fish, turtles, and even birds with his bare hands. He drank rainwater he collected in empty plastic bottles and sometimes, in the absence of rain, the blood of the turtles he caught for 138 days. That's over 14 months, alone, with nothing but the endless ocean in every direction. And finally, our number 1 survival story is one of the most mysterious and extreme ever recorded. The man who survived 27 years alone in the woods. He simply vanished, disappearing into the forest for nearly 3 decades. He lived a life of absolute silence and stealth, surviving by stealing food from nearby cabins, melting snow for water, and avoiding all human contact. His presence remained a complete mystery for 27 years. Think about it: no maps, no fire for long periods to avoid detection, and not a single conversation with another human being. It's a story that pushes the very definition of survival into a realm of myth and legend. These stories prove one powerful thing: humans can endure far, far more than we think is possible, but only if they adapt fast. Survival isn't just about physical strength, it's about the decisions you make moment by moment. The right ones keep you alive, the wrong ones end the story. If you want more incredible countdowns and wild stories like this, make sure you stay early, stay curious, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.